Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Granblue Fantasy reaction. Today we have one that was requested by Alice May and my executive producers, and this is the main theme, apparently. This is also becoming a thing where, like, I think I mentioned this the last time I had a Granblue song, but a bunch of people are colluding to put a bunch of Granblue stuff into my queue. So this month alone, I think we've got like 3 or 4 that I'm going to be getting to, but people realized that I was okay with Granblue, even though that was never a question. I guess they're just like, hey, let's everybody gang up, throw them at him. So like that's where the collusion comes from, and I'll be hearing quite a bit of Granblue very soon, apparently. So without further ado, let's start with this one and let's go. Like, I've heard some Granblue stuff, but I haven't heard all of it. And I don't think I've heard the main theme, so that's why we're here. Okay. Very nice pause on that. Ooh. Did I just hear the breath of the flautist? I did. Ooh, I love it when they leave those in there. You can even hear the hammers of the flute's notes. Well, not hammers, like, you know, fingers picking the notes. Now that's more what I expected out of Granblue Fantasy. Very high adventure sort of theme here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woo. Always gotta have a harp sweep. I love those accents too. So good. Take a moment, take a breather. There's always a little bit of a lull in an adventure, you know? Gotta have your highs and your lows. Hell yeah. Fantastic balance. Rounding out some tension there with the horns. Oh, it went down. I had a feeling it might go up. Ah, it resolved there. Okay. Either one was a totally viable option. They might go for the last one, though. They're building up here. Oh. Let it hang a little bit. Play with them a little bit. They're really playing around with the listener here. See, they weren't even done. I would have taken the end on that lift, but they're like, nah, let's sink back down, make sure that everyone sits when the song is done, goddammit. That was a fucking fantastic song. So this is what Cygames was up to before Uma Musume. I only really knew them through that, honestly. Like, I've been following Uma Musume since the anime started airing, and I haven't really played the game either. I just like the horse girls, I guess. Whatever the fact may be, this makes sense. Like this totally tracks. Banger music in Uma Musume, banger music here. I assume different composers, that's kind of irrelevant. You hire good people, you're going to get good work. And this song has one of the best core concepts for an adventure, like a big scale adventure theme that I've heard in quite a while. Like up there, frankly, with the Legend of Zelda series. And if you know anything about me, you know I fucking glaze Legend of Zelda, at least up to a point, but that's beside the point, not today's topic. This song matches that level of composition to me. That iconicism that comes from Legend of Zelda is here in this song. And I get why so many people wanted me to hear more songs from this, because this shit fucking slaps, brother. I mean, there's so many good qualities about this song. The mixing was beautiful. Like, I'm just gonna get that out of the way. There's not much that I'm gonna get into when it comes to the mix, but everything was so clear. It was perfect. And again, I love the qualities of leaving in the breaths of the performers, the soloists. They always cut those out or try to mitigate that existence for some reason. And it just makes it feel less organic, and it feels so much better hearing songs like this with a real orchestra, with a real performance, and being able to actually have that quality in there. Obviously, you're not always going to be able to compose something and have it a professional orchestra play it, right? Like, that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is when you have it, the choice to leave it is one that I feel too many people opt out of, and they should leave it in there because it feels that much more real. It makes it feel that much more like you're about to go on a true adventure. And when you take that sort of humanity out of a song, it kind of sucks the soul out of it a little bit more, and it just feels a little too clean, right? Like, again, this isn't something that somebody sitting on their DAW making a song should feel bad about if they don't have voice breaths in there. But down to the point, even if you wanted to go this far, if you are a composer and you're trying to make something orchestral and you don't have this, if you have a solo instrument being played, like a flute, for example, add your own breaths and record your own breaths and put those between the MIDI play or whatever VST you got going on in order to make it feel a little bit more human. Just kind of a trick to make it feel a little bit more present there. Be careful about it, obviously. You don't want to make it too loud or anything. Make sure you kind of nestle it in there nice and subtly, much like this was, which was actually pretty prominent given the rest of the mix, but that's because it was a live performance. And again, just the fact that they left that there makes the song immediately feel that much better to me, and it like puts it a point or two up just from leaving that sort of stuff alone. That detail is something that needs to be preserved in time. I know this song is not new, so it's not like it was really a threat of like, oh, they're using DAWs, and it's not really the point here. The point is that they left that in there, and it's something I hope more people going forward in making their own music decide to leave. But getting to the actual composition, this song is obviously a movement. It's not necessarily a simple song that I'm going to be able to just blast out a couple of chords and be like, there's your chord progression, no more detail. This song goes through, frankly, way too many different patterns and different cadences for me to truly be able to break down in a simple short video like this what's actually happening, why the song is moving the way it is. All I can really say in an overview for that is they did an amazing job at making this song feel like it was a journey. You started soft, you started like you were waking up in the morning, and then suddenly you're bursting open your door, the world is your oyster, you're about to go on an adventure, fucking Hobbit style, and now you have all these other emotional things that you need to be able to capture as you go through that. That's why I loved it when they slowed it down a few times in order to make you feel those emotional weights in the song and in your journey listening to it. This is a composer who understands that essence of this sort of genre, making a song for a game or a property or whatever have you, just a vibe of I want to go on an adventure, I want to have an experience, instead of just making it sound cool from start to finish. finish with no evolution and no emotional hook to it. This song had multiple emotional moments, and that made it feel that much more like I was with them in this journey, and it felt so much better. It's a similar effect to things like the Test Flight song from How to Train Your Dragon. Fucking brilliant in that way. The evolution of that, the blending of multiple characters' themes in that, Hiccup and Toothless becoming one, and the song doing the same thing. That's the sort of shit I'm talking about. This song had that, just not necessarily the individual themes so much as they were giving you hints to other motif work that I could definitely tell was in here. I don't know if I'd ever be able to recognize the individual songs just based off the little motifs in here, but I could tell that there were some little motifs in here that are definitely going to be themes for other characters or other moments later on in the game, you know? So I'm sure a lot of you hearing this probably have already experienced a lot of those themes I'm talking about. I can already tell that those exist in here. I might not know who they belong to or what moment they belong to, but I could tell that there were identifiable different concepts of songs in here for different themes, and blending those in and making it part of the story from the beginning. The very first thing you hear in the main theme, that's the point, right? To give you an overview musically of what you're about to go on. That's why I was talking about the journey. That's why this song works so well. It's fucking brilliant. This is so good. I'm so mad that it took me this long to get here. I've heard some decent music from Granblue. Like I said, I've heard a few songs at this point, and not all of them on the channel doing reactions, but a lot of them while I play the drums and do those on my Sunday streams. This is something else. This is so much of a better overview for what the rest of the music is going to sound like, despite what I've heard already. This puts it into a whole new context, where things could go, what you could be doing, how much of you is going to have to be poured into this story in order to feel every single bit of this journey you're about to go on. This teaser they're giving you is absolutely breathtaking. But despite what I said earlier about not being able to really drag you through every single bit of this song because of its complexity, I do want to just give you an overview of a lot of the chords being utilized, because I can do that. I'm just not going to spend a bunch of time telling you what part is what and how each pattern affects the next and like all that stuff. So basically, let's start with the root of this song, E minor. So we have the E minor there, and that's all fine and good. We have like E minor, a D, we get A in there. A is a great hook, a great match for the E minor, fantastic match for the E minor. And then we get other ones in here, like I think F sharp and F sharp minor are both in here, and they both serve different purposes within the song. We'll get to the why F sharp minor is a little bit more important later, but for now we have the F sharp, and we also have other ones like the B minor and B, same kind of thing with the relationship there. We have another sort of build on that happens in the song, but B minor is the most used one, so I focus on that one more. And then of course we have the all-important chord, the God chord itself, C. It's frankly the most important chord next to the E minor in this song, which, like I said, is the tonic. It's the root of this song. C is the last chord you hear, and we'll get to that because I want to show you what happens specifically at that last section, that goofy ass shit where it keeps building up and kind of tunneling down, like all the like the horns are going down while everything else is building up. So goofy, but also it's perfect as, again, a teaser and trying to get you hyped for this. It's building you up and pulling you back down, building you up, pulling you back down. Just a masterclass in that sort of concept, and it's really fun to hear. So what happens at the end of the song is kind of goofy, but like in a good way. So we're starting on the C, and we have this like C sharp minor that kind of bounces back and forth a few times, and then it goes to a B flat. That's kind of our adjustment chord. We go back up to the C, and this is where it starts getting a little bit weird. That happens, and I'm not entirely positive. This is why I was saying the F sharp minor is kind of important, because that's the bulk of what's happening with this chord, but it's like a diminished. It's like a it might even be like a flat 5, which might be something more like this, like an F sharp minor 7th flat 5 would be this, but like this would be a diminished or a flat 5, and that's so like it's filthy, right? Like that shouldn't be there, but it works kind of like if we're talking about that sort of relationship compared to like the C and C sharp, you know, like it's kind of like bashing up against that C and creating this dissonance that's really grimy and hooks you in to what's about to happen, because this adjustment gets even weirder. We go back to the C after that, we go to a B flat minor, so it's changing that B flat we had before, skipping all the way up to a D sharp, and then back to the C before we then get another visit to that diminished. And this is just so crazy. This sort of relationship is just so wild to me, the fact that they decided to do this. And then they just build up to the end of it by going C, F minor, G minor, C, and like, of course, this being the high C, so we'd probably like make a full quality of it. Obviously all the instruments involved, so have every possible octave hitting that for that giant final feeling. You want a lot of bass, a lot of treble, everything in between, all the instruments, all the stops pulled, you know, the whole 9 yards, whatever way you want to say it. They needed to do that here. I'm gonna play this through kind of as intended so you can feel what it's like just hearing the chords instead of me yapping between and kind of bouncing between them. And again, I'm not playing that perfectly in cadence with how the song would be. There's not much point to that. You've already heard the song, but at the same time, those are the chords that are being played, or at least what I'm pretty sure. I'm most confused with that F diminished, like F sharp diminished thing. That's such a weird chord to have in there, and I'm not 100% positive that that's the chord being used there, because again, it's something that could have been as weird as like a flat 5 in there too, which this does kind of feel a little bit more full. So like there might have been like a, and this does borrow 2 of the notes from the C triad, so that would blend in a little bit better. But even with that just being what it is, like all those notes together are very crunchy, so it feels weird, and I'm not 100% sure on it, but I am confident enough that that's what's going on. There are at very least some variant of the F sharp minor, F sharp relationship, whatever the case may be. Given all of that is already in the song, it would totally make sense. It's just, there are so many things happening in a song like this, all of this build up, all of these crazy, weird combos of things that sound so fucking good, but when I only have a piano versus an entire orchestra, it's really hard to make heads or tails of certain things. So I'm just gonna say that that's roughly what's happening. I might be a smidge off, but I'm confident enough to put it on video here. But like I said, that's about all I've got to say with this song. That is definitely the most complex part of the song. Everything else is beautiful. I love, again, the emotional wispiness of certain parts of this song. It's just so good. It's so good, and it's like, it's the good that I lose the ability to find the correct words, and I just have to yap about the technicalities of it, because I can't think of more synonyms for it is fucking gorgeous, breathtaking, beautiful, sexy even. This is one sexy fucking song, and I suppose that's where I've got to stop talking. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else from Granblue, you're in luck. There's going to be a few this month at very least, so stick around for a couple days to see those. They'll be coming out in public a couple of days apart at worst, so you'll be around to see them. Or otherwise, if you want to join the collusion of people adding more and more Granblue songs to my list, and the tier is open on Patreon, you can go there and guarantee something out of me. It doesn't matter what it's from or who it's by, really. It could be from Granblue, it could be from anything, but it's completely up to you, and it's a guarantee, so I have to get to it. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to stick around for those other Granblue songs or just any other videos I do, then you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!